Hello everyone, this is Alan Scorpio. In this video, we will go through Chapter 2b of the Ebook, From Western to Chinese Astrology. This is the content of our discussion. Motions of planets in the universe which is important to astrology. The essential deity, which is the rating of planet status. Explanation of Chinese philosophy from essential deity table. And finally, after standardization of the astrology system, we could viewing Chinese astrology from Western astrology perspective. There are two kinds of motion about the planets. Revolution, when one planet moves around another one as reference. As the whole solar system is rotating around the sun, all planets revolve around the sun. The second one is about rotation. The planets turn around itself 360 degrees again and again, which has its own turning axis for every planet. Due to geocentrism model and limitation from the viewing of observing on Earth, astrology only interested in the Earth's rotation only. Other planets' rotation are not included. Despite the planets have the same rotation direction as the Earth, in the perspective of geocentrism model, the planets are having cycles various from 88 days to 19,000 of days, which compare with the one-day rotation. The planets are rotating too slow to catch up with the rotation motion. As we mentioned, the four axes, which we put the arrows down here to denote about the axis. Hence, the axis is moving anti-clockwise due to the relativity of motion, and the planets are revolute so slow and are being seen as moving clockwise in this direction. As Chinese astrology is well known by the public of the application of imaginary planets or imaginary stars, we provide an example of the Tai Shu, which it has a series of 12 different imaginary stars following in the order clockwise. This is the first one, Tai Shu, and then going to the 12th one. The position of the Tai Shu is related to the 12 animal signs. The left side shows the rulership and lordship of the 12 sidereal signs. There are 7 planets which rules the 12 sidereal signs, except for the Sun and the Moon are the only law of a particular sign. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn are all rulers of 2 signs. At the same instant, the 12 early branches in Chinese astrology having a specific interrelationship as 6 harmonic. The Wuxin elements are known as water, metal, fire, wood, and earth, which in translation of Chinese wording, water, 水, relate to the Mercury as 水星, metal, 金, related to Venus as 金星, fire, 火, related to Mars as 火星, wood, 木, related to Jupiter as 木星, earth, 土, related to Saturn as 土星. So, if you listen it carefully, the Chinese wording 星 means the stars or planets. You can simply relate to the Wuxin of the earthly branches are very related to the lordship of the 12 sidereal signs, which can be comparative together. The essential deity of the planets from the Babylon are very related to the actual locus of planets, which rotate around the universe. From viewing at a universal scale macro view, they are closely to perfect circular. The Sun is at the center of the solar system, are not acting as the central point for all planets. Hence, the observation from the Earth, some planets are looked like moving so fast at some direction of the universe, which is denoted at good status because the energy is flowing smoothly, and the Babylon named it as ruler. By considering all of the classical planets, the essential deity is formed and inherited to modern times. The interrelationship of 12 early branches in Chinese astrology, it is always considered as the unique philosophy, but not in astrology side. If we viewing the 12 early branches as the 12 sidereal side, some of the equally spacing of early branches are the same as having aspect with another sidereal side. For example, this 三合 is trinity, this 六沖 is opposition. Trinity, which is the three harmonic of animal sides, are usually considered as good. Opposition as conflict of animal sides considered as misfortune and challenging years. The only exception of the 12 early branches is it don't emerge about the sun and the moon in terms of rulership. But the early branches of Wu, which is equivalent as Leo, sun as rulership, the early branches of Wei, equivalent as Cancer, moon as the rulership. If you look carefully to the Potimum's version about the essential deity, the trapezoidal node columns which showing two masses, which mass in Chinese wording for saying is equivalent as the fire element for, which provide ideas of Chinese astrology is mixing of the concept in the table of rulership column and the trapezoidal law column. Here has another example, which I'm quite sorry I can only find the Egyptian boundaries for example, but it is not the Potimum version. The 5 layers from the inside to outside are respectively as the 12 sidereal side, which is equivalent to the 12 early branches of Chinese astrology. The rulership of the 12 sidereal side, which is the ruler at essential deity table we see in the previous page. The rulership of the 12 sidereal side, which is having the name about the Sing, okay, and the next level 3 is the Excel status, which planets are at the second best of their status. The trapezoidal law, which can also be classified into the day, you can see the you can see the D look for the day chart, the N light for the light chart. We will describe day and night chart in later chapters. And this is the 16 boundaries, and terms which are all related about the 5 planets, and these planets are all related to Wu Xin. Finally, this is the Tri-Eden order of 7 classical planets, which is familiar with the application of minor arcana in the tarot cards. Actually, Vedic astrology also have very similar things like essential deity, which the 5 planets arrangement in odd or even sides are very related to the agency cycle of Chinese astrology. And from the old literature, there have been 8 different versions of the essential deity, which this text has shown, the Sun is involved as the sixth planet. In other versions, the Moon is also involved. Note that it is in equal sectors. Every planet takes 5 degrees within the branch. As Chinese astrology has the 6 harmonic, which have merged about the Sun and the Moon. The rest of the 5 planets represent the wuxing. The foundation of lunar solar calendar is the synod period of the Sun and the Moon. Finally, as you can see, some interactive relationships between the earthly branches are conflicting each other. The red one, they exist in both kinds of situations in pairs, which it is explainable by the essential deity table. The plots about the 2+2 scoring, it is called the phases status, is showing higher status of the planets, but the -5, -5 is in determinant, which is showing an opposition of the planets to its lordship status. At the same time, 6 harmonic and 6 breaks occurs at Chen and Xi, which is the Geminian and Virgo. You can see the Jupiter, they are falling at both determinant and at the phase status. Another pair which is high and yin, which is Sagittarius and Virgo about Venuses. About the Mercury. This is the Mercury, which have the same situation, both have determinant and phase. To sum up, the essentiality give ideas of how planets in the universe are moving, which is relatively fast or slow in some area. Our ancestor has defined as different sidereal signs. Essential deity is very important to Vedic and Hellenistic astrology, which provide the concept of lordship. As Vedic astrology is first transferred to ancient China, some of the theory of essential deity has impacted in Chinese astrology through this method, through this transmission. According to their own elaborate, it becomes some core parts of their philosophy and seems so unique from Western astrology. However, the contradictory of the interrelationship of the 12 early branches left some clues for us to reveal the source of those philosophy theory are linked with the essential deity. In the next chapter, we will introduce the operation of lunar solar calendar, which contains a lot of real planets and general sidereal time information, which is much stronger evidence of Chinese astrology are inspired from the transfer of Vedic and Hellenistic astrology techniques about the empyrean. This is the end of the chapter. See you. Bye bye.